I'm a delivery driver for a local pizza joint. I turned 17 just a couple months ago and decided to get a job just to get some money and have some work experience. Welcome to Room 13, where every story hides a secret, a place where the unknown comes to life and the eerie is all too real. Here, we uncover the chilling tales that lurk in the shadows. This seemed like one of the easier jobs and better than standing around behind a counter being bored all day. Every night did sort of feel the same though, often even driving the same routes and delivering to the same houses for all the regular customers. Only nights that felt different were the weekends, because a lot of random people would order and our store would offer delivery until 2 a.m. So I worked extra late. This was on a Saturday. There was a decent-sized storm overhead, which in a lot of other jobs, I'm sure it meant the day would be slower. However, not with this job. People didn't want to go out, so they had more incentive to order for delivery. At least I made good money on tips, though. It stayed very busy all the way until 11 or 12-ish. Then it finally died off a bit. I actually had time to walk into the shop and take a break while we had no orders. I never really had anyone to talk to, though. All the other guys at the shop were older, like 30s or 40s, except for a few college kids that weren't working that night. So, of course, when the next order came in, they sent me out to deliver it, even though the other delivery guy had been hanging around the shop talking for a whole hour. I just did my job, though, taking the order and getting in my car. It was to a street name I didn't recognize, but the GPS said it was 20 minutes away. I figured I'd drop it off, then take the long way back just to kill time and maybe not have to do any more deliveries for the night. I started heading over. As you'd expect, by this time of night, almost nobody was on the roads. In this context, it seems kind of eerie, but at the time, I always found it calming. The neighborhood this house was in was pretty standard for houses around here. It was mostly wooded houses, far back in the trees with long driveways connecting to the street. Nothing too secluded for our town, but I guess compared to the kind of homes most people live in, these would seem like they were way out there. I turned down the driveway and parked at the end in front of the house. It was a large, older home with not a single light on. But as I was getting the pizza ready and about to get out, I saw a curtain move upstairs, like someone had just been watching me out the window. I see that a lot, actually, while doing deliveries for obvious reasons. But this time, it felt a little more creepy, because I couldn't actually see them since it was so dark in there. I got out anyway and started walking up to the porch and was quickly confused. There was another box left right on the porch, a pizza box from a different local shop that I'd only heard of a few times before. I didn't see any cars leaving the driveway or even in the neighborhood as I pulled in, so it must have been there for a while, which was kind of weird. Even looked like the box was soggy, like all the moisture in the air from the rain had seeped into it already. I stepped around it and knocked on the door. I needed the payment, so I couldn't just drop off the pizza. I heard something shift in the house as soon as I knocked, and then it went quiet. Didn't hear anything for a whole minute, and then I knocked on the door again. This time, it stayed quiet. I knew someone was in there, so after a minute, I pulled my phone out and called the number on the order. Few seconds later, I heard a phone ringing inside the house. It sounded like it was just on the other side of the door, like someone was standing right behind it. But still, no one opened up. I was very confused because I knew I'd seen someone looking from the window upstairs. And now, with the phone, Surely someone was in there and had ordered the pizza. I was starting to get a really uncomfortable and eerie feeling. I thought about just leaving the pizza on top of the other one and leaving when suddenly a voice called out from just behind the front door. "Door's broken. Bring it around to the side porch." It was a woman's voice, but it had a harsh, growly sound to it. I took a couple steps back, then walked around the house. There wasn't an overhang on the side of the house, so I had to walk through the rain with nothing to keep me or the pizza dry. Around the house, there was a side door that looked really worn and unused. If the other door really was broken, wouldn't this one look like it had been used? I mean, there were even cobwebs or spider webs and dirt all over it, and the outdoor light above it wasn't even working. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds, already getting soaked. I didn't hear anything inside the house, though. No footsteps coming up to the door or anything. I started looking around, getting an intense feeling that something was watching me. I could barely see anything without the house lights on. This feeling grew worse over the next 30 seconds, and I just knew something was seriously wrong about this. I dropped the pizza box and made a run for my car, getting in and leaving right away. During the drive back to work, I thought the other pizza box on the porch might have been the other delivery guy having had something similar happen. He probably knew better or had seen something else that told him to just get out of there. So, with whatever plan those people had not working out with the first delivery guy, they had to order again from a different pizza shop. Clearly, they didn't care about the pizza anyway, leaving it out there on the porch despite being home. The only problem is I just can't figure out what the plan really was. Best theory I've come up with is that she wasn't alone. Someone else was there, maybe out in the trees, and bringing me to the side of the house would be sure there were no witnesses to whatever was going to happen next. I actually still work at the same pizza shop, but never have had anything happen even close to as disturbing as that. I hope I never will.
Hey, the stories aren't over yet, but consider subscribing and leaving a like. With a simple tap on the screen, you help our work a lot. Now, without further ado, let's move on to the next story.